Na, örülök, hogy itt vagytok. Várjátok már a craftsmanship versenyt? Cosplay verseny, mondom magyarul. Cosplay verseny.
Nem azért jöttek, a kerekasztalra jöttek.
Jó, rosszul kérdeztem, és a kerekasztalra? Azt várjátok a kerekasztalt? Nincs kerekasztalunk, úgyhogy ezt várhatjátok.
Van téglalapasztalunk, meg vannak a vendégeink, akik tegnap zsűrizték a craftot, és itt vannak velünk, hogy beszélgessünk egy kicsit a cosplay fotózásról.
Bizony.
Hívod őket?
De te kezded.
Én kezdem?
Hát mondjunk valamit róluk, nehogy az legyen, hogy elfelejtették, hogy kik ezek az emberek.
Jó, hát itt van velünk Liechee Németországból.
Come here, darling.
Szegényként teljesen összezavartuk, hogy felhívtuk a színpadra.
Nagy tapsot neki. Choose van.
Igen.
Mondj róla valamit.
Mondjak róla valamit, rendben van. Hát nem tudom, hogy ki volt itt tegnap, de aki itt volt, az meghallgatja tőlem még egyszer, hogy ő 14 éves kor óta cosplayezik, és teljesen magától tanult varni és páncélt készíteni, és láthatjátok, hogy milyen marha jó dolgokat csinál. Hercegnőket, főgonoszokat szokott cosplayelni. Nagyon szereti filmkészítést tanult, és cosplay videókat is csinál, úgyhogy nagyon jó beszélgető társunk lesz ő most a mai kerekasztalon.
És itt van még velünk Elyon Cosplay. Nagy tapsot neki. Ő a félig magyar, félig külföldi zsűritagunk. Beépített zsűritagunk, mert annyi versenyt nyert meg ebben az országban, hogy muszáj volt tovább költözni egy másikba, hogy ott is mindent megnyerjen. Egyébként nagyon, nagyon tetszik, mert a férjével együtt szoktak cosplayezni, és ő a hivatalos fotográfusa is. Ez a cosplayes párkapcsolat, amire vágysz. Te férjed nem is létezik.
Nem létezik, de egyébként se cosplayezik, úgyhogy ezt már nem mosom le magamról.
Egyébként Eli az, aki szintén Disney hercegnőknek szokott beöltözni, úgyhogy valaha láthatok egy Disney ruhát, ami gyönyörű, azt Eli megcsinálta, és minden egyes részlettel, gyöngyel, kidíszítve mindent felrakott rá, amit fel lehet rakni, úgyhogy gyönyörű munkái vannak, úgyhogy majd nézzétek meg a neten.
És itt van még velünk az úriemberünk, McFly. Ausztriából érkezett, aki most már több egyére látogatja meg a konunkat. Páncélokat készít, több nemzetközi versenyen zsűrizett, és dolgozott a Blizzarddal és a Universal Pictures-dal is, ilyen nagy stúdiókkal. Úgyhogy... Igen,
és tavaly ő volt az, aki a Vieken kijutott a Champions of Cosplay-re, ami egy világszínvonalú verseny, és Chicagóba kijutott a döntőre. 2016-ban pedig az Euro Cosplayen ő képviselte Ausztriát, úgyhogy...
Nekem a Batman a kedvencem.
Megfogtam a mellét, amikor Batman volt. I was there.
Batman a köntössel, meg a bögrével a legjobb vasárnapi cosplay, amit valaha láttam.
De még az is meleg, mert rajta van a fején az a cucc. Próbálunk kényelmes nyári cosplayeket kitalálni, de igazából nem
létezik. Ez a kényelmes nyári cosplay, hogy magamat cosplayezem.
Krumplit cosplayezem.
Krumpli vagyok, egy boldog krumpli. Aki most megkérdezi a zsűrit, hogy how are you feeling today?
Good. Everything is nice so far. Like we did some pre-judging already, and we saw some amazing contestants already, and I can't wait to see the performances.
Same. Yeah, it was the pre-judging was really exciting. Should I speak in Hungarian or English? I don't know. It's
English.
English. Okay.
Igen.
Again. So yeah, the pre-judging was really exciting, and we can't wait to see the performances. And it's really hot today as well, so we are kind of suffering too. So you are not the only ones, but it's really fun and exciting.
Yeah, I'm sweating like hell under this foam warbler corset, but apart from that, everything's nice. And we just had food, so we're all pretty chill now.
You start.
You start.
No,
okay,
I start. Okay, so we are talking about cosplay photography, and my first question might be the most important question. What do you think about editing and after work? So how much is okay for you if you are having a photo shoot?
Well, for me, it's a thing. I studied film and photography and everything, so I'm used to a lot of editing, and I like it a lot. And I love Photoshop, so I do a lot, like also compositing. But I think you should still recognize the person. Like, if you change too much, it gets really weird. But of course, you can do a skin retouch and everything, but you should stick to the shape more or less. Of course, if there's some unflattering part of your body, you can squeeze it in a little bit. It's totally fine. Do whatever you like, but you should still be recognizable for everyone.
Don't liquefy the face. You can liquefy the whole body. Don't liquefy the face.
Yeah, so if you think about cosplay, you are basically dressing up as another character. So from that point, I think it's completely okay to change a bit more. And also what you said as well, like if you have smudged makeup or whatever, it's completely fine to retouch it afterwards. No one cares if it was like 40 degrees and that's why it happened. So I'm completely okay with Photoshop till a point when my mom doesn't recognize me anymore. It's not so good. I mean, my mom doesn't recognize me in a week, so maybe that's a problem.
Maybe she doesn't want to.
But yeah, otherwise I'm okay with it.
Her mom loves her, don't do this. Her mom loves her, don't do this.
I know, because she's amazing. Her mom.
And Elyon too. You want to add something about editing and after?
Well, I mean, I sometimes do my own edits. I get edits from photographers, and I always, every time I like, can you maybe do this and this? Because obviously I see mistakes in photographs that maybe the photographer doesn't know about. So I'm okay with this. I'm also okay with background replacing with, like the photo of me in the background. I think the only thing that is original, like without a lot of editing, is the face. Because this was shot at a convention, and it's like replaced the whole. I did edit most of it myself, and replacing the background because it was a good picture of me at the convention, but it was a convention picture with the convention background, like with windows and metal rods and whatnot and people. So it depends on what your goal is for the photo. If you want like just a portrait shot, or if you want like a composition that is more like from the game, like. Is a character from the game and you want to be in the game more or less, so it depends on what you want. But yeah, as she said, I think modifying the body in a certain way is fine, but leave the face alone outside of beauty retouch and stuff like that.
I would also like to add that it totally depends on the camera and the lens that you use, how you look, because if you use a different lens, your face could look totally different, like bigger than it actually is. So I think it's okay to squeeze it in a little bit, because sometimes you don't look like you do in the picture. So actually I'd say do whatever you like as long as you feel comfortable with it. So yeah.
So our next question is, which one do you prefer, outdoor photo shoots or studio photo shoots?
That is not a clear-cut answer, because it depends on what you're shooting. Also, it's usually like I've heard it more from photographers than from cosplayers, because like I know some photographers who are like, I prefer shooting indoors in my own studio. I have my setup, everything, and then there's other photographers who are like, I prefer the outside, use the sunlight, use the light that we have available. And in general, I prefer air condition, because like most of my costumes are rather warm, I'd say, so everything that is not outside at 33 degrees is usually better.
You go.
For me, definitely outside. Like I did some studio shoots before, but especially if you are cosplaying something that would be completely okay outside. So for example, not a game character from an imaginary land or something like that. For me, studio is kind of boring, and I can't do I can do basic things in Photoshop, I can edit things in Photoshop, but I'm really not good with making the whole composition thing. So for me, changing a studio shot wouldn't work. And I really like to go location scouting, for example. So even if we are just doing touristic things, like a month ago, we were traveling with my husband and we went to this castle. And the first thing when I checked the castle was that, oh, we could do a shooting here with this and this cosplay, and this is so much fun always. So I really like outdoor photo shoots.
But there is a general cosplayer problem. As soon as you go somewhere, it's like, oh, I can use this for...
Exactly.
You can't go anywhere normally anymore because you always have it in your head, like...
But if you're outside, you just have way more things to interact with. You could compose the picture completely different than in the studio, because in the studio you mostly just have this flat background with nothing else. It's an advantage that, for example, outside you have the wind that I'm fighting with right now. But yeah, I prefer outside as well, because you just have more possibilities to create a cool picture. But I also did a lot of photo shoots in the photo studio, and it just requires more editing to make it look something special. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Okay, I will go and ask another question about the locations. Like, how important is it for you to choose a location to the character, or you are almost good with anything with a skilled photographer? Like, you can go into the backyard and make good photo shoot, or are you going and choose a location to the character? I mean, you are researching and.
Can I start? Yeah, sure. No. Okay, so first of all, I want to say that, yeah, searching for a matching location is really important, but I also have a story for it, because I live right next to a park in Germany. So like really, if we are crossing the street, there's a park. And I have a photo shoot with basically every cosplay of mine in that park. And sometimes it's the same background everywhere, but a different season. So for example, I have a winter shoot with the same castle, and a summer and an autumn one, because it's just so pretty and it's so easy, especially with the snowy photo shoot. So you check in the morning if it's snowing, and then, okay, let's go out and take photos right now. And I can go home really quickly if I'm freezing. But otherwise, I would say it's always better to search for a matching location and plan it ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Like for my Regina cosplayer from Once Upon a Time, I did it together with a friend of mine who was Rumpelstiltskin, and for that we went to a castle and rented the castle for 1 hour, so we could take pictures inside the castle for it was like, I think, €200 just for 1 hour, and we had to be super quick, and there was a guide with us who told us where we could stand, where we were allowed to and where not. So it was a little bit tricky, but it was amazing. So, but I only do this for very few photo shoots. Mostly, I'm like you and just go outside, because, for example, the photo you see of me here is like 5 minutes away from my home, and it's the beautiful river in Berlin, and we just shot it there. So it depends how much you want to interact with the location.
Yeah, definitely. Same for me. Like when we do a character photo shoot, usually it takes like 2 weeks of planning to get, because everybody lives far apart as well. Because I'm not living in Berlin, like in a big city, or Budapest. I live in a bigger city, but not with that many inhabitants, and all the photographers live like 2 hours away, or some of them at least. And you want to collaborate with those people, then you need helper, then you need maybe makeup or lighting, somebody who who helps with the lighting and holds the flash box and whatnot. So it's really hard to do a high quality photo shoot without a helper or without setting everything up ahead of time. So yeah, it's not even about the location as much. I think it's more about the personnel, to get like the people together, because I think it's much harder to get like, hey, it's nice outside today, let's get some people together and shoot. I think that's much harder to do. I mean, it works depending on if you live close to some people, but that is probably the harder part than location scouting, because we've all been to certain locations, we know what they look like. So once you've been there once, you know, well, this would fit for this character or another character, so it makes more sense to figure it out before for the personnel that you need.
So we talked about photo shoots and conventions, and you edited the background, but what do you think about this? Like, do you like to make a little photo shoot immediately at the convention? Like, you just show off the costume for your followers or something, or you will wait for official photoshoot?
I'd like to have a photo shoot before the convention. So when I finish a cosplay, I try to take pictures as quickly as I can, because whenever I wear a cosplay at a convention for the first time and then I didn't take any proper pictures, I'm like super stressed that I need to have good pictures today, and it's always the thing at conventions, like sometimes the location doesn't fit, it's too crowded, or someone doesn't, or you have no one to take pictures of you because photographers are busy or no one's interested. I don't know. That happened, yeah. Yeah, so I always try to get some nice pictures first so I can go to the convention and just have a chill day, and if I get some nice extra pictures, then I'm very happy.
Yeah, for me it's different, I think. Especially with some of the costumes that we can only do at conventions, because we get together, like, for example, I have, for prosthetic makeups, I have a makeup artist who lives like 6-7 hours away, who does all the prosthetics, for example, for my Popeye and for Android 16. And we get together at the convention because he's invited and I am close by, or I'm invited and he's close by, something like that. So we can only do it at the convention because we don't have the time outside. So the convention basically pays for the character. Because all the materials for the prosthetics is like 500 euros and up. And so we have the opportunity at the convention to shoot. Also for like regular costumes I usually wear it first so I can see the problems with it. Because if I do a photo shoot immediately after I made the costume, I don't know what I can do with the costume. So I don't know how mobile I am, and that's why I'm usually doing a convention first, like a day of convention, and then after the convention shooting the cosplay at some point.
I have to start with, it really depends on the convention itself as well, because I have to mention whole Europe's favorite convention, Dokomi in Germany, which is like the best location for photo shoots ever. It's right next to a huge, amazing park with a Japanese garden, the French type with fountains and like bushes and whatever, and flower fields and everything. So it's really the most cherry trees, yeah. So really, basically, the most amazing location ever for photo shoots, and it's next to a convention. So obviously, if you are going to Dokomi, then you are going to take photos as well. I mean, the last few years, I think we just went there to take photos as well. I haven't even been inside this year. It's just so amazing, but it really depends, because if it's another type of convention, so for example, like this, it's definitely more difficult to take photos because of the amount of people, and the location is like, there are some green parts and there are these things that everyone is taking photos with. But otherwise, it's definitely more difficult, and it's probably easier to plan a photo shoot and have a better result.
Danny, you said something about makeup artists, so my next question is about makeups and well, photo shooting teams. Do you guys like to do your own makeup, or have someone to make it for you? And how big is your photo shooting team? Like, how many helpers, or it's just only you and the photographer?
It also always depends. Like prosthetic makeup, I can't do myself because you need somebody to apply it to yourself. I mean, you can technically do it, but it's better to have somebody in front of you to see what they're doing. For regular makeup, it depends on who is available. I have a friend who does my makeup. She's here with me, so she did this makeup. Because I'm good with costumes, or okay with costumes, I would say, but I don't have that much experience with makeup. I can do my basic makeup, but I can't make it look as good, I guess, or it takes me much longer. I think it's different for me, personally, as a man, because I didn't grow up with this, I think. Because for girls, usually they grow up more with this kind of thing and maybe have an easier time overall. Hello. You go. Come on. No, you lost something. Pick it up, take it with you.
Oh, that's our loot. He's back.
MVP right there. And then we have Trump.
Yeah.
Go.
Orange man.
Okay, yeah, so I don't know I think that's an easier, different question for you kind of guys who use makeup, I think, maybe in your daily life, because for me, I use makeup only for cosplay.
What?
I just live with the ugliness day to day.
You want to go first?
Okay, so yeah, it's slightly different, of course, but I actually have never done any like really special makeup cosplays like you did. So
She's just this pretty already. She doesn't need the makeup.
I didn't even use any makeup today. I just woke up like this, like this. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely easier or different for us. I always do my own makeup, but it's really not that difficult. So it's a girly, something basic princess thing all the time. I wanted to say something. I forgot.
Maybe you
Need some
remember.
water, yeah. So yeah, basically that's it. It's not really interesting. But yeah, I know. I remember. I wanted to add that actually I've never used makeup before I was 18, and the first time I used makeup was my last graduation, whatever, prom kind of thing that we have in the last year of high school. And before that, I never used makeup. And still in everyday life, I don't really use it, so mostly for cosplay. And definitely, I don't use this amount. So I only learned it because of cosplay.
Okay, that's totally different for me because I started experimenting with makeup when I was 12, I guess. And I wore horrible makeup when I was 13 because I had these very dark face where I wanted to look really bad and had these dark eyeshadow. I looked horrible. At least
I can totally imagine that.
I should have started with makeup later. But anyway, I love makeup, and I also apply makeup for my friends sometimes. And makeup takes, I don't know, I think it took me 2 hours this morning, and I watched a tutorial from Alison Tabita. We all know her, we all love her. And she's an amazing Wonder Woman, and I watched it just to make sure how she did some things, and I always try to learn more things via YouTube, and yeah, I love makeup.
What? It's okay. I just dealt with some things. Question, if you are done.
Sorry, she just ran away for a minute and I didn't understand why.
She was scared.
I just teleport.
Yes. So we talked about photo shoots, but do you do video shoots like for some parody videos maybe?
Maybe. No, I had a parody video shoot last week where we were recording a song. I'm not telling you which song it was now, but we wrote the lyrics, I recorded it, and therefore we were shooting 4 whole days in our Ariel cosplay, and Eric and Vanessa and everything. And it's gonna take some while to edit it, to do the special effects and everything. But as I mentioned, I studied film, so I like to combine cosplay with film as well and do more video shoots in the future. Hopefully, people will like it, and yeah.
I mean, I've only done CMVs so far, cosplay music videos, just a little bit of motion, but for every costume I plan on doing it, but then I never do it. So I'm always like, how can I make this to be good for a video? And then in the end, I completely forget about it once it's done. So I want to do it, but I also lack the resources, I think, because we don't have a lot of filmmakers in this way, because you have education in this kind of stuff. I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just making it up as I go. So yeah, just CMV so far, a little bit of motion. I would like to do it. If somebody approaches me about it, I will.
Hey.
Hey, you want to do a video together?
Let's do it.
But other than that, yeah, sure. I'm up for it. Watch out for our video in the future.
He promised it's recorded.
Yes, I'm okay with this.
Okay, so I'm quick. I don't. I wish, but that's really a skill that you have to learn if you want to make it, and it's really time-consuming. And I haven't tried it before, so no, just photos so far.
I almost forgot my next question. Okay, what do you think? What makes a good cosplayer photographer? Because we have like normal photographers do shooting at schools, but what makes a person good at cosplay photography?
Experience. I can say this because I have watched for a couple of photographers over time, and they started out, they just used a regular camera, like nothing fancy, no lights, no nothing, and the photos were photos like you can also take with your phone, but over the years the person, like, they stuck to it, they took pictures of lots of cosplayers, and every time they get better. So I would say that when I shot with them back then, I didn't really think the photos are amazing. I mean, they're okay, you can do something with it if you can edit them, but they weren't like set up as well as they could be because they were beginners, and 2 years later they were just like, they're constantly improving, making better pictures. So really, I will shoot with everybody if they ask me and I have the option, because I think practice makes a good photographer, and experience. They know how to handle the cosplay photo shoots, like photography overall, if they have done it more and more.
I would say the most important is communication. So it's not enough if you have skills and if you can push the button on the camera, basically, but you really have to be able to talk about with the people you work with, because that's not just the important part, that the photographer likes the photo. Of course, the model has to like the photo as well, and they both have ideas, and it's really, it can work out really well if you share these ideas and don't just stay there in quiet and don't do anything, like just really. So you really have to communicate, you really have to say what you would like to do, and you have to agree and make compromises, and I think it can work out really well in that case.
Just to add to this point, for some experience to this point, you can have an amazing photographer who just usually does model photo shoots, who like shoots like catwalk stuff like this, make terrible pictures of cosplayers because he handles the shoot as if it was a model shoot, which is a completely different thing. So you can be an amazing photographer in your field, but it doesn't matter, you will be amazing immediately at cosplay photo shoots. Yeah. It's not how it works, because it's a completely different skill set.
Yeah, totally, because sometimes the picture can look amazing, like sometimes it has a great landscape and everything, but the cosplayer itself is like super small on the picture, so it's a nice picture, but it's not a nice cosplay photo for you, because in cosplay photography it's super important that the costume is in the center, and that you can see details and everything, and it's also very helpful if the cosplay photographer is some kind of a director and can show you and say what you could make better with your impression, that you're more like the character. It also helps if they know about the character. So I think it's a very specific part of photography. So some of my favorite cosplay pictures are just taken by my friends who are cosplayers as well, because they know what to pay attention to, and yeah.
And also, I'd like to add that the communication shouldn't just be at the photo shoot itself. So it's like before as well, when you are planning the photo shoot, and after as well. As you said, it's really important to communicate by editing as well, because maybe we don't want the same amount of editing, and it's totally okay to talk about it and ask for more or ask for less sometimes.
Yeah, it's also important what I'm terrible at. For example, I don't know how to I don't know what poses to do, so should be my responsibility, but also like it's very helpful if the photographer is like knows what he wants to shoot.
Thank you so much for your answers. We just got the T signal that
yes,
our time is up.
We are trying to communicate without words, but it's very hard for us.
we need to get in practice, like,
yeah.
Yeah, so thank you so much for your answers.
So.
And yeah, Ne menjetek sehova, mert most következik a Cosplay Champions Cup, és akkor egy pár perc, és akkor már is jövünk vissza.
Igen, szusszanunk egyet, aztán
Igen,
visszatérünk.
Okay.